Cold wind chills and a major winter storm barreling down on much of the country. The impacts to southern Wisconsin coming up.
Plus, we're putting state lawmakers' musical tastes to the test as they prepare to head back to the Capitol and work on the state budget. And later, several states are seeing their minimum wage go up this year, but Wisconsin isn't one of them. Why some experts say it hasn't changed in years. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Well, good evening and thanks for watching. Eric has the night off. If you're planning to go out this weekend, make sure to bundle up. Cold and dry conditions are sticking around for the weekend, including a bitter wind chill. For more on tonight's temps, let's check the first sworn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington, the intrepid meteorologist, braving the elements outside on the weather patio. Alex?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to get my scarf before coming out here. Good thing it's just a short time out here because you're only going to want to be outside during short periods throughout the course this weekend, and here's why. Now it's down to 19. Now that temperature is doable for January, but the wind chill is 10, and that's going to continue to drop as winds increase tonight and temperatures decrease, clear skies. We have the recipe for a very cold January night across southern Wisconsin. Here's what we're up against. When you join myself and Armand again at 10 o'clock, it's going to feel like -2 in Madison, even though the actual air temperature is going to be 12. But I really want you to focus on the wind chill values throughout the forecast during the 6 o'clock show tonight and again at 10. And throughout the course of the weekend, really, the wind chills right now already down to 3 in Viroqua, 4 in Camp Douglas, 10 in Madison, 6 in Janesville. That's what it feels like to your body, and it's going to get even colder than that. And we have a major winter storm that's going to impact a large portion of the country coming up. How cold can you expect? The wind chills Saturday morning and Sunday morning, and the impacts to southern Wisconsin with this winter storm. We'll discuss it in a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. And stay up to date on the weather on our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC weather. And a woman is dead after a fire in Beaver Dam this morning. It happened at North Hills Mobile Park on Kellum Road. First responders got a call just before 2 in the morning. Deputies arrived to find the home up in flames. A 29-year-old man made it out alive, but a 29-year-old woman could not escape. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Some pets were also found dead inside the home. The fire is under investigation. And in Reedsburg, a person and their pet are without a home after a fire there. At about 9 this morning, the Reedsburg Dispatch Center received a report of a house fire on East Main Street. One person and their pet were able to get out of the house with any injuries. Crews were on the scene until about 10. Reedsburg police do not suspect someone intentionally set the fire, but the cause remains under investigation. The Red Cross is helping the person who is displaced. 2 brothers are in the Dane County Jail after allegedly running from a traffic stop yesterday morning. Dane County Sheriff's deputies pulled over a vehicle along Gannon Avenue in Blooming Grove when the 2 men allegedly ran from that vehicle. A 29-year-old man was quickly arrested, while a 38-year-old man was arrested later in the day. Both are facing several charges. And Madison police are investigating after a person was dropped off at a hospital this morning with life-threatening stab wounds. Police say the person was dropped off around 8 a.m. Officers were able to determine that the stabbing likely happened at an apartment in the 1200 block of Huxley Street. No suspects have been identified and no arrests have been made. Anyone with information on the stabbing is urged to contact Madison Area Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014 or online at p3tips.com. The California man who was messaging the Abundant Life Christian School shooter before she carried out her deadly attack made an appearance in court today. A restraining order against 20-year-old Alexander Pfaffendorf says he and the ALCS shooter were planning a mass shooting together. That restraining order does not say where that would have been other than a government building. Under the order, Pfaffendorf cannot have access to his guns, which is enforced by California's red flag law. While appearing virtually in court, Pfaffendorf spoke to the judge.
I would just like to apologize to the court, and then in terms of the future, in terms of the gun violence protective order, whatever you feel is necessary and the Carlsbad Police Department feels is necessary, I'm willing to accept.
While in court, a detective told the judge that the FBI expects the criminal investigation into Pfaffendorf to end within 2 to 3 months. And meanwhile, several Culvers in the Madison area will donate a percentage of sales to support the Abundant Life Christian School in the aftermath of that deadly shooting. Make Your Meal Matters signs will be displayed in every participating Culvers. The following Culvers will donate a percentage of its sales to support the ALCS fund. Well, lawmakers are preparing to return to the state capitol next week, and one of the first things they have to deal with, working on the state budget. Political reporter Will Keneally, as always, is tuned in. Will?
Well, Armand, 'tis the season for Spotify Wrapped and your political reporter asking outlandish music questions of state lawmakers. So looking ahead to that state budget cycle, we decided to put together a Capitol playlist for it. The playlist varies as much as the lawmakers themselves.
Well, I'm a Gen Xer, so I would probably just say Teach the Children by Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
That's what we'll be going through the head of Senate Democratic leader Dianne Hesselbein as Wisconsin lawmakers put together the state budget.
That comes to mind because I think that really encapsulates K-12 education, what we could be doing for their students in our state.
Yeah, and I will promise the viewers that we did hear the senator sing a little bit off camera.
And definitely off camera. You're all welcome.
Yeah, you and I know that YMCA is going to be the theme song of the spring.
One of the dominant songs on the campaign trail, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says it will carry over to this coming session.
I think that's just an example of how people are excited about what's going to happen in Washington, where hopefully things are going to get shaken up. We're not going to have the same old with the same old people.
So the answer I have for you is Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Speaking of campaigns,
I hope that what we're able to do here is come together, recognize that the campaign season is over and it's time for us to work together and deliver for the people of Wisconsin and demonstrate that government can be a force for good in their lives.
version of Bridge Over Troubled Water?
Oh my gosh.
Or a couple.
The original, right?
Okay.
Simon and Garfunkel?
Yeah, I'm a big Aretha Franklin fan.
Oh, all right. I respect that too.
And for some lawmakers, it's just about setting the mood.
When I'm here late at night working on the budget, I always think that the opportunity is there where I've got a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night. And, we work through the process and we come out with a good budget for people of Wisconsin.
All right, this is my jam from junior high, man. Look at that.
Yeah. And apologies to the viewers. I did try hard to get them to sing on camera, but alas, they were.
Now you'll just have to sing for us right now.
No, thank you.
All right, then ask for us. What would be on your Spotify Wrapped?
So that's the wonderful thing. I usually don't have to answer my own questions that I ask. But thinking about this earlier, we had the conventions both in Milwaukee and Chicago, and we're playing some Chicago, heading down to the DNC. And what was it? Does anybody really know what time it is?
Ooh.
The kind of late nights, in the Capitol. So that might be similar to Mark Bourne there. That might be the move this session.
There we go. All right, learning more about Will Keneally and his cultural taste. That's awesome, Will. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with the 119th Congress now sworn in, senators now can begin questioning and ultimately confirming or denying President-elect Trump's cabinet nominees. After being sworn in today, Senator Tammy Baldwin spoke about how she'll vet the nominees.
I will give everyone a fair shake and give them due consideration, but I will not compromise if somebody might hurt Wisconsin families, veterans, businesses. I will tell you that there are some controversial picks among the group.
Baldwin says the committees within the Senate she sits on will have the chance to host hearings with the nominees. And the start of the new year means 21 states are raising their minimum wage. But once again, that doesn't include Wisconsin. Our Ellie LaLiberte joins us now with why experts say Wisconsin hasn't changed in years. Ellie?
Yeah, that's right, Armand. Our minimum wage here in Wisconsin is just $7.25, but our neighbor, Illinois, is at $15 an hour. And while our state, like I said, just half of that. The state legislature could look to raise that wage, but that has not happened since 2009. However, experts say that fewer workers are earning minimum wage in Wisconsin than before, but those who are largely disadvantaged populations have a harder time.
While many sectors have moved beyond the minimum wage, there are some that are still left behind, and workers, especially I think also immigrant workers, are often working at that level. And so to raise the minimum wage also equalizes a little bit by pulling up the wages of women and workers of color and those who are at the bottom of the labor market.
Dresser also says states like Missouri and Florida, voters have found that the raising minimum wage is popular when it's put on the ballot for them to decide on. Now, if Wisconsin's minimum wage were to increase to $15 an hour, nearly 230,000 people would be directly impacted. Now, that's according to a report from the Center on Wisconsin Strategy. All right, Ellie, thank you. Coming up on News 3 Now at 6, we hear from an epidemiologist on the recent surge in norovirus cases in the U.S. Plus, News 3 Now takes a sneak peek at a new clinic opening later this month just west of Madison.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
There's a new urgent care option coming to Dane County families, and it's just 15 minutes from the west side of Madison. Upland Hills Health gave News 3 Now an exclusive first look at its urgent care opening in Mount Horeb later this month. It's the only urgent care in Mount Horeb, and it's staffed by Madison emergency physicians. This is in addition to a renovated family practice space.
Well, I live in this community and recognize the need, right? And you have to go to Madison or all the way out to Dodgeville to be seen before. Now we have a beautiful new facility here right in Mount Horeb that can draw from Iowa County, from Verona area, from west side of Madison, and all the other rural areas around. And Upland Hills has really been dedicated to healthcare access, so it's really exciting to have this opportunity right here in Mount Horeb.
The public is invited to check out the new urgent care and renovated clinic at an open house Thursday, January 9th from 4 to 6 p.m. Upland Hills Health will offer provider meet and greets, tours, and refreshments. Once the facility opens to patients January 13th, the family practice clinic will operate Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Well, right now, the U.S. is seeing a surge in norovirus cases. The illness is highly contagious and not easily treatable. Symptoms can include vomiting and diarrhea, nausea and stomach pain, body aches, headache, and fever. Earlier today, News 3 Now spoke with Lynn Roberts, an epidemiologist with the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, on why there's been a spike in cases this season.
One hypothesis I have, we're seeing a different dominant strain of norovirus in our outbreaks, for example. And I think because it's what we would call novel to most people, so most people probably don't have any immunity to it at all. I think we're seeing more outbreaks and bigger outbreaks this year because of that.
Preventing norovirus comes down to washing hands well, not preparing food if showing symptoms, and cleaning surfaces with disinfectants. Still ahead, the Golden Globes prepares to kick off award season. Plus, the U.S. Surgeon General sounding the alarm about alcohol use and cancer risk, why he wants a new warning label added to alcoholic beverages. And just how cold's it going to get this weekend? Alex returns with the answer in the complete forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
The U.S. Surgeon General is releasing a new advisory warning about alcohol and cancer risk. It says alcohol consumption is the third leading preventable cause of cancer in the U.S. after tobacco and obesity. The risk for at least 7 cancers, regardless of what type of alcohol is consumed. Alcoholic beverages currently have warnings about birth defects if consumed by pregnant women. Alcohol is responsible for 100,000 cases of cancer and 20,000 cancer deaths annually.
Alcohol is really good at breaking down protein, and our whole body's made out of protein. And over time, it causes damage to cells, inflammation. It really not just cancer, it causes more than 200 different diseases in the body, directly or indirectly.
For breast cancer in particular, about 16% of breast cancer cases in the U.S. can be attributed to alcohol. Advisories from the Surgeon General are reserved for public health concerns needing urgent awareness and action. The red carpet is rolled out and the stage is set for the Golden Globes this weekend. The award show will be hosted by comedian and actress Nikki Glaser. She makes history as the first woman to solo host the show. The Globes is not only the first award show of the season, but the largest one to honor the best in film and television. Producers say this year's show is specially tailored to the viewer.
I want you to feel like you're at the party of the year, not just watching the party of the year.
Netflix's Emilia Perez leads the film's categories this year with 10 nominations, including Best Comedy or Musical. On the television side, The Bear leads with 5 nominations, followed by Only Murders in the Building and Shogun with 4 nominations each. Catch the Golden Globes on CBS and Paramount Plus Sunday night at 7. Well, ice skaters, rejoice. Madison's parks and several ice rinks are now open for the winter season. Right now, you can bring your own skates or rent some at either Elver, Tenney, or Vilas Park. Those looking to play some hockey can do so at Elver or Vilas, though at the moment, Elver Park is the only rink open with boards. Rinks are open until 8 tonight. They'll be open tomorrow from noon to 8 and then noon to 6 on Sunday. A chilly weekend ahead. Here's Alex with a complete forecast. Good weather for ice skating, I guess.
Yeah, just bundle on up and good ice-making weather, I guess, as our temperatures take a plummet. But I really want us, again, as I've been emphasizing, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and now on the 6 o'clock newscast, it's the wind chills. It's these bottom temperatures here in Madison approaching -4 by the time we get to midnight. And it's going to get even colder than that through the rest of the nighttime tonight. So let's focus on the wind chills here as we go into Saturday morning. -11 wind chill at 8 o'clock in the morning, -12 in the Dells, -7 in Bosqueville, -6 in Janesville, and -16 in Camp Douglas. Starting to approach dangerously cold wind chills Saturday morning. We briefly warm up, so to speak, single digits. That's the feels like factor as we go into Saturday afternoon. And then we drop back down again to possibly 10 below zero wind chills as we go into Sunday morning. So very cold winds and wind chills are going to be sticking around the entire weekend. Let's look at this larger map here. This map, what we want to look for is the dark blue. This is the core of that cold air over the Central Plains and then sneaking to our south as we go Sunday into Monday. Now, we're going to be below normal, but you might be wondering, why is the core of this really cold air mass hugging areas just to our south? Well, this is where they're going to experience the biggest impacts of this upcoming winter storm, and this is going to be following that track of heavy snow. And we know here in Wisconsin, when you got deep snow, the temperatures can be really, really cold. So that really, really cold temperatures are going to follow that heavy snowfall with that weather system, which we're going to look at in just a moment. But our temperatures, 28 is normal. We're way below that for the next 10 days for the most part. Here are those winter weather bulletins, winter storm warnings, watches, ice storm warnings this weekend through Monday. Well to our south. Unfortunately, if you want snow here in southern Wisconsin, it's not the best forecast. And the travel impacts are going to be great from Kansas City over to St. Louis, over to Cincinnati, and then over towards the mid-Atlantic region as well. This weather system will likely stay well to our south, as I've been saying for a few days. Maybe a little light snow east and southeast of Madison, otherwise just cloudy and breezy, as we see here with Future Track. As we go into Sunday night, going on into Monday morning, maybe a little bit of lake effect snow building as our lake temperatures are warmer than the surface temperatures, or the air temperatures rather, and that sets up that lake effect snow band to our east. But that's about it for southern Wisconsin. Cloudy skies, breezy conditions, maybe just a little light snow south and east of Madison. At this point in time, I don't see the chance of that weather system making its way back to the north. So it should likely stay to our south with breezy conditions going on into Monday. Temperatures below normal, folks, with the next chance of snow as we head out towards Friday. And we do have a viewer that wants to know, what's our chances for snow going out into the future? About 50-50, better chances of being dry.
And coming up in sports, the Badgers finally back out on the court. Why they say tonight's matchup against Iowa should be another battle with those Hawkeyes. That's next on News 3 Now. Wisconsin men's basketball is ringing in the new year with an old rivalry. Since 1909, they've played Iowa 175 times, which gives tonight's game just a little more juice. Lately, the Badgers have had the Hawkeyes number, winning 4 of the last 5 meetings. And if they know anything about the black and gold, they know this one is going to be like every other time they play, a tough one.
I think that not only goes for Iowa, but I think every team in the Big Ten, you're gonna have a dogfight every night, no matter who it is. You can't take anyone lightly, and it should be a fun one for sure. Like every year, they play really fast, they play hard, they switch things up on defense, so it's gonna be a great game. But I think the key is just slowing them down in transition, limiting their offense.
Thursday's game against Ohio State has come and gone, and it was total domination. Wisconsin shut out the number 2 team in the nation to the tune of 6-0. So now it's finally on to Saturday and their skate at Wrigley Field. It's UW's first outdoor game since 2010, and after all the buildup and hype surrounding this one, for it to be finally here, well, the Badgers can't wait to soak it all in.
It's a surreal feeling. It's something I never thought I'd be able to do, but I've been blessed to be in a situation, and I'm just excited to just kind of take it all in and enjoy the moment.
I think it's going to be super cool. I think hopefully I'll take a second to just look around and say this is a wonderful opportunity that a lot of people would give anything for, so don't take it for granted. And then after I soak it in for a little, I'll lock in because we got a big game to win.
And speaking of women's hockey, be sure to come out to Pooley's Sports Bar in Madison to watch a live taping of the next episode of Wisconsin Huddle with Layla Edwards. The taping starts at 7 on Monday. We hope to see you there. Artie, you coming?
Pooley's Sports Bar on Monday while I'm working. Maybe I'll stop by for dinner break.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Alex, final check of the forecast?
Final check of the forecast here. Cold temperatures, we've been knowing that for a while now. You might be wondering, what about the snow chances? Not looking high, unfortunately. So cold conditions, but dry conditions for the next 10 days.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tonight on News 3 Now at 10.